U.S. military's deadly campaign against alleged drug cartel boats from Venezuela. Faced with intense bipartisan scrutiny, accusations of war crimes, and question over whether this mission is really about regime change, the White House tonight is doubling down on Operation Southern Spear. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says the military has only just begun blowing up narco-terrorists, and in a major escalation after reports that President Trump told Venezuelan President Maduro to pack his bags and resign or else, Trump says U.S. drug strikes will happen on land very soon, and not just in Venezuela.
If they come in through a certain country or any country, or if we think they're building mills for whether it's fentanyl or cocaine. I hear Colombia, the country of Colombia, is making cocaine. They have cocaine manufacturing plants, okay? And then they sell us their cocaine. We appreciate that very much. But, yeah, anybody that's doing that and selling it into our country is subject to attack.
So not necessarily just Venezuela?
No, not just Venezuela.
The administration strongly defended its boat strikes today at that cabinet meeting as lawmakers from both parties are demanding answers on one attack in particular that has raised serious red flags. Back on September 2nd, a follow-up second strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean reportedly killed survivors who were clinging to burning wreckage and posed no threat. If true, that could amount to a war crime. The administration says an admiral made the decision to conduct that second strike, not Hegseth. The Pentagon chief said today he watched the initial strike live but didn't stick around to see the finale. Asked whether he personally saw any survivors in the water, Hegseth said he did not, and then blamed the fog of war.
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. It was exploded in fire or smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war. This is what you in the press don't understand. You sit in your air-conditioned offices or up on Capitol Hill and you nitpick and you plant fake stories in the Washington Post about kill everybody, phrases on anonymous sources not based in anything, not based in any truth at all.
Let's go right now to NewsNation's Kelly Meyer, live for us at the White House. Kelly, this scrutiny over that strike is only going to intensify because that admiral, Frank Bradley, is set to testify before Congress on Thursday in a closed session. Lawmakers are demanding all evidence and unedited videos of that attack.
Yeah, so many questions surrounding these strikes, Elizabeth, and there's more scrutiny over the timeline even today. As you heard there, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth saying that he didn't stick around after that first strike was ordered, and he said hours later he learned that the commander, as he said, made the right call to strike a second time. But when pressed on that timeline, Hegseth said he couldn't confirm the exact amount of time that had passed. Today, President Trump stood by Hegseth as he comes under fire from both Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill for potential war crimes. Listen to this.
I hear the gentleman that was in charge of that is extraordinary. He's an extraordinary person. I'll let Pete speak about him. But Pete was satisfied. Pete didn't know about second attack having to do with two people.
Now, this is the man that the White House says is the one that ordered that follow-up strike that killed those two people who were reported to be clinging to the shipwreck debris. This is Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley. He was head of the Joint Special Operations Command at the time. That's in charge of the U.S. military's most sensitive and dangerous missions. It falls under U.S. Special Operations Command, which Bradley was promoted to lead in October. Now, sources telling me within the Pentagon today that Hegseth has given room for commanders to exercise their own initiative as long as it's aligned with the White House intent. Bradley, as you mentioned, Elizabeth, he's now set to face lawmakers behind closed doors, and many on both sides of the aisle have a lot of questions, and the top Democrat in the Senate is pushing to take this a step further, calling for Hegseth to testify publicly. Listen to this.
We need documentation, and we need the tapes, but we should go one step further. Secretary Hegseth should testify publicly before the committee under oath so that the American people can hear the facts. The truth should not be kept behind closed doors.
And after Signalgate and now these strikes on alleged drug boats, Republican leaders on Capitol Hill were asked today whether they have confidence in Hegseth as secretary. The Republican leader, Senator Thune, said what's important is keeping the country safe. And there's also more news tonight. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, he's pushing back on the Pope tonight for calling for the U.S. not to attempt military ouster of Venezuela's Maduro. We're learning he wrote this on X saying, quote, "I would urge the Holy Father to spend his time and energy persuading Maduro to take the easy way out for all." Elizabeth.
Yeah, that was a rather tepid endorsement, if that, from Senator John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader of Secretary Hegseth today. We'll see if anything changes in the days ahead.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.